Grandma left me an old rickety car, but I was shocked when I opened the trunk. Hello, besties. Welcome to Emma's Tales. Please subscribe and leave a like for us. It means the world to us. Also, share this video with your loved ones and turn on post notifications so you don't miss future videos from us. Thank you. As you do so, sit back and relax as we dive into the story. Rain needles the dawnlight windshield, masking Jade Thompson's breath as she hunches over the Plymouth's trunk. The funeral ended 3 hours ago, yet the churchyard mud still cakes her shoes. She presses a flathead screwdriver into the rust-sealed latch, teeth chattering more from adrenaline than cold. Grandma Viola's car looks half buried under wet oak leaves, its sea green paint flaked to primer, white wall tires half flat. The smell, damp vinyl, motor oil, time, seeps into Jade's lungs and brings a sting behind her eyes. Viola raised her. The house and the car are all that remain. Jade wipes rain from her cheek with a sleeve stiff from yesterday's coffee shifts, then braces both hands on the screwdriver handle. One more push. Metal groans, then cracks. Rust flakes snow down the bumper. The lid shudders upward an inch, enough to spit out a single shiver of cold exhaust dark air. Jade lifts. Hinges squawk like injured gulls. She expects moldy carpet and despair. Instead, nothing familiar. A sheet of plywood, cut to trunk size, lies beneath the factory mat, too light-colored, too new. She blinks. Why would Viola add a false floor? Jade slips the screwdriver tip under the board's edge and levers upward. The plank lifts, exposing a shallow cavity lined with red velvet, its pile faded to brick. Rain drums the lid. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. 3 items rest inside as if arranged for display. A violin case, fiberglass, battered, stickers half peeled. Monterey Jazz, Selma 65, a smudged crimson bird in flight. A photograph, Grandma on stage bathed in ruby spotlight, chin tilted, trumpet in hand, mouth frozen mid-note, crowd blurred in ecstatic haze. Jade's chest tightens. She never saw Viola play live. A reel-to-reel tape, metal flanges dulled, center label scrawled in blue pencil. Red BIRD session, do not play. Water splashes her collar as thunder rolls southeast. Jade's fingers hover over the tape. A tremor, no, a vibration, comes from within like a faint rattle. Could be loose leader tape, yet it feels intentional. She pulls the photograph first. Viola looks 30, maybe younger, hair pressed into glossy waves, a satin gown the color of cardinal feathers. The crowd below her is mostly black, blazers and church hats. The stage banner reads Freedom Benefit. Rainwater blurs the ink, and Jade tucks the photo inside her denim jacket. Next, she grips the violin case. It's lighter than expected, maybe empty, maybe not. A hairline crack runs along one hinge. A smear of dried candle wax seals the clasp shut. Viola's code for keep out, no doubt. The case hums against her palms, a resonance like a plucked low string. Or perhaps that's her pulse. Finally, the tape. She lifts it gently. Droplets scatter off the flange. A chill arcs through her wrist, an icy static that raises the hairs on her arm. She used to splice cassette demos in high school, chasing a music scholarship that never came. Since then, the only tape she's handled is the thermal kind sealing drink lids at Grindhouse Cafe. Lightning bleaches the yard, revealing the cracked headstones beyond the fence. Jade exhales, realizing she's been holding her breath since the lid opened. She sets the tape back, pulls the hood of her raincoat up, and closes the trunk to a loose latch, not willing to force it shut again. The small house creaks when she enters. Funeral lilies crowd the kitchen counter, their perfume sour in humid air. Jade eases the case, the photo, and the tape onto the round oak table, then flips the light switch. The bulb pops. Of course. She fumbles for the camping lantern she keeps for storms, sets its LED glow between her treasures, and sinks into a chair. Why hide these? Viola hated secrecy. At least that's what she preached. Truth is a trumpet, she would say. You either blow it loud or choke on silence. Yet here lies her hidden concerto. Jade unlatches the violin case carefully, slicing the wax seal with a paring knife. The lid resists, then yawns open on a sigh of rosin and cedar. Inside, snug against burgundy velvet, rests not a violin but a stack of manila envelopes bound by twine. The top envelope bears one word in Viola's cursive flourish: Jade. Her throat goes dry. She slips the knot, slides out a letter. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Birdie, if you're reading this, I'm off stage for good. The world stole enough of our family's music. I couldn't let them bury the rest. What you found is only a door. The song waiting beyond it needs courage and a clean heart. Yours, not Knox's. Play the reel only when you reach the right room, or the melody dies forever. Trust your ear. And remember, every silence is a seed.
Grandmother.
Jade rereads the lines until they blur. Seed of silence, she whispers, tasting the phrase. Tears threaten, but confusion wins. A door? The right room? She glances at the tape. It's spooled ribbon black as riverwater. Her phone buzzes in her pocket, Knox calling. She declines. Estranged is polite. He's a walking press release in satin loafers, always chasing legendary lost sessions. He can flip for six-figure advances. He was absent when Viola grew frail, but the moment probate was announced, he booked a flight. Jade sets the envelopes aside and lifts the tape to eye level. The center hub is loose, hence the rattle. But as she tilts it, the reel hums.
No, seems.
A faint, low-frequency thrumming emanates, like the opening pedal note of a Hammond organ. Impossible. Magnetic tape can't make sound unaided. Yet she hears it not through her ears, but through her sternum. A gust slams the screen door in the hall. She startles, nearly dropping the reel. Rain has intensified. Water runs in dark rivers down the kitchen window, distorting porch light glow into bleeding neon.
She needs a tape deck.
Viola's old TX sat in the living room cabinet for decades. Jade rushes down the narrow hallway, lantern bobbing. The living room smells of dust and lemon oil. Viola's record collection, Coltrane, Nina, Mingus, stands guard along a shelf. Jade kneels, opens the cabinet. The tape deck is gone. Just an outline of dust and 4 screw holes. She curses under her breath. Footsteps on gravel outside. Jade freezes, lantern lifted. Headlights hover ghost-like beyond the curtains. A car idles, engine purring smooth, expensive. Her stomach knots.
Knox.
She returns to the kitchen, heart hammering. The tape and envelopes go back into the violin case. She snaps the clasp shut, stuffs the photo inside her jacket. A single word scrawls across the case's lid in chipped paint pen. Flight. Knuckles rap on the front door, measured, confident. Jade slips the case handle over her wrist, grabs the lantern, and detours through the laundry room to the back porch. Rain needles her face the second she steps outside. The trunk lid of the Plymouth still sits ajar. She hustles across the yard, vision blurred by water, feet sliding on mossy brick. Behind her, the front door creaks open. Knox's voice, smooth bourbon, rehearsed charm, drifts through the rain. Jade? It's me. Thought we could talk. She ignores him, reaches the Plymouth, and gently shoves the trunk lid down until the catch clicks. Lantern light flickers on chrome. She hesitates, then tosses the car keys into the mailbox nailed to the fence, just in case she needs an escape later. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. When she turns, Knox stands at the edge of the gravel drive, umbrella in hand, trench coat immaculate despite the storm. His smile is small, predatory. Long night, he says, raising his voice above the rain. Mind if I come in?
I'm tired.
Jade tightens her grip on the violin case. His eyes drop to it. Lightning flashes, illuminating the faded bird sticker. He inhales sharply. So the rumor was true, he murmurs, almost reverent. Viola kept Redbird alive. Jade steps back. You should leave. Knox nods slowly, umbrella tilting like a curious crow. We can leave together, he says. I have a buyer lined up. They'll preserve the sessions. Proper restoration, legacy branding, the works. Legacy branding? Jade repeats, disgust curling her lip. You mean cash. Knox shrugs. Art needs patrons. Patrons need incentive. He smiles wider. Tell you what, split 50-50. $1 million each, easy. Lightning again. Thunder chases. Jade's pulse thuds in her ears. She remembers Viola's voice reading bedtime stories, her hands guiding Jade's on dusty piano keys, telling her the world would try to quiet her, and that silence was a choice. She steps onto the porch, placing wood between them. Not for sale. Knox's smile falters. Don't be naive. This isn't some demo. It's the mythical Redbird session. Labels have hunted it for decades. He points at the case. That tape could rewrite jazz history. History doesn't belong in a vault, she says. History belongs to whoever rescues it from oblivion. Rainwater streams off the gutter behind Jade, drumming the porch rail. She exhales fog. Grandma trusted me, not you. Knox's jaw clenches. Just a flicker, but Jade sees it, a crack in the corporate veneer. He forces a calm tone. At least let me listen. We'll decide together. I don't have a deck, she lies. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. His eyes narrow, calculating. I do. In the car. He tilts his head toward the curb where a sleek black sedan waits, headlights glowing like patient eyes. Come on, cousin. Let's share the first listen. For Viola. Jade's fingers tighten on the case until the edge digs into her skin. Viola's letter echoes. Play the reel only when you reach the right room, or the melody dies forever. The violin case hums again. She feels it through rain-numb hands, a distant chord daring her to choose. She steps backward into shadow. Not tonight. Knox sighs, disappointment softening into something like worry. Storm's getting worse. Think about it. He turns, umbrella dipping, and walks toward the sedan. Before sliding inside, he glances back, chin lifted. Doors don't stay closed forever, Jade. Someone always finds the key. The car glides away, taillights carving twin rubies through the rain. Jade stands on the porch, water soaking her jeans, thunder rolling overhead like timpani. She hugs the humming case to her chest, feeling its hidden heartbeat answer her own. In the distance, church bells toll 7 a.m., solemn, heavy, final. Dawn has arrived, and with it, a storm no roof can fully keep out. Jade looks down at the case, then at the silent Plymouth, then toward the road where Knox disappeared. She draws a shaky breath. Okay, Grandma, she whispers. Show me the door. She turns, slips into the house, and locks the door behind her. Knowing locks only delay what must come, but needing every second to ready her courage. Outside, rain keeps time like restless brushes on a snare, tapping out the overture of a song that refuses to stay buried. Jade barely sleeps. The storm moves east before dawn, leaving a damp hush over the neighborhood, but her mind rattles louder than the tin roof. Every time she dozes, the violin case hums. It's in her head, she tells herself, yet the vibration feels real, like a low sea drawn from a bow. At 9, a knock stirs her from the couch. She opens the door expecting Knox's salesman grin. Instead, he stands contrite, eyes rimmed red, trench coat speckled with road dust. Truce, he says without flair. I brought coffee. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. He holds out a cardboard tray, too black, no sugar, exactly how Viola drank it when plotting mischief. Jade doesn't step aside, but she doesn't close the door either. The smell of Sumatra pries her guard, open a sliver. She nods once. Knox enters, setting the cups on the hallway table like a humble guest, then lifts a cloth bag from his shoulder. I figured you'd need this. From the bag, he reveals a portable Akai reel-to-reel deck, silver knobs polished, VU meters intact. Jade's pulse skips. She hadn't found Viola's deck, and she'd refused Knox's offer the night before. Now the deck sits between them, a peace offering or a Trojan horse. I won't force anything, Nox says, reading her silence. But I ask myself what Grandma would want. She'd want the music heard. Together. He exhales, the bravado gone. Let's listen, Jade. Just listen. Jade studies his face. Creases deeper than she remembers, a streak of gray at his temple. He looks tired, vulnerable. Maybe the storm stripped them both. She nods again, leading him toward the kitchen where the violin case waits under the lantern's glow. They clear a space on the table. Nox plugs the deck into an outlet with a frayed extension cord. Jade fetches a clean dish towel and wipes the tape's flanges dry. When she hands it over, their fingers brush, static snaps between them. Nox threads the leader around the capstan, turns the tension arms. The machine clicks ready. Both stand silent, the room lit only by the lantern and weak morning sun crawling through rain-spattered glass. Here we go, Nox whispers and presses play. For a heartbeat, nothing, just hiss. Then a single, breathy trumpet note blooms, warm and bruised. It climbs a half step and holds, trembling like a held breath too long. A cymbal swells under it, brushes whispering, bass walking slow. Viola's horn answers itself in call and response, fragile, then fierce, then fragile again. Jade feels it in her ribs, a language older than words. She closes her eyes. Flashback. Jade is 7, perched on Viola's lap as the old woman polishes that same trumpet. Every note is a seed. Viola murmurs. Plan enough and the right ones bloom when the world forgets how to breathe. She taps Jade's sternum. Your chest is soil. Never leave it empty. Back in the kitchen, the track shifts, 12 bars of piano vamp, minor key. Over it comes Viola's voice, not singing but speaking, close to the microphone, intimate. If you found this groove, the world's bleeding again. The salve is in the chartreuse room. Follow the green bird's echo. Use the key, but don't let the cage close behind you. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Nox glances at Jade, eyes wide. The tape pops, side B starts, brief studio chatter, a second tune in May 4th that dissolves after 40 seconds, then silence. The reels spin down. Nox exhales, half laugh, half sigh. Holy hell. She really was Redbird. Jade swipes a tear she hadn't noticed. Chartreuse room. The phrase tastes of mystery and citrus. She paused through the envelopes remaining in the violin case. Personnel lists, gig posters, a yellowed telegram censoring one of Viola's concerts in '67. But nothing labeled chartreuse. Nox powers off the deck. That confession alone is worth a fortune. Labels crave lost protest sessions. His voice grows animated, the old hunger sparks behind his eyes. Imagine the press release. Hidden manifesto from the velvet underground of jazz. Stop. Jade sets a palm on the table, steadying herself. You heard her. The world bleeding again, not marketing copy. Nox lifts a brow. Art needs ears. Ears need channels. Channels need funding. There's more at stake than royalties. She gestures to the tape. This is a map. And I'm the guide, Nox counters. I've got contacts, collectors. That's the opposite. She hid it from collectors. Jade's voice rises despite herself. Why do you think she was blacklisted? She wouldn't bend. Nox steps back, temper flaring. Easy to moralize when you weren't broke in Harlem after they iced her bookings. I remember Mom pawned her wedding ring while Viola mentored you on free piano lessons. His words slice. You got the lullabies. I got eviction notices. Jade flinches. The memory surfaces. Little Nox counting coins for bus fare while she practiced scales. Shame and anger knot together. But she still left you the house, Jade whispers. Nox's face hardens.
Yeah.
A termite palace, worth less than my condo fees. Meanwhile, you get the legend.
He points at the case.
Don't pretend you're the only one who loved her. Silence expands, thick as wet wool. Rain resumes outside, a faint patter. Jade softens her tone. Maybe we both deserve truth before thinking about money. She lifts the tape box. Its underside reveals smudged pencil lines, faint longitude-latitude ticks. She runs a thumb across them. Graphite streaks her skin. She hid something else. Knox's eyes follow the marks. His resentment eases, replaced by curiosity. He nods once, a quiet truce hanging by a thread. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. The two climb the narrow pull-down ladder into the attic, bringing the lantern, the tape deck, and a notebook for clues. Dust motes swirl in the beam, and the air tastes of cedar chest and old leather. Cardboard towers line the rafters, decades of life in labeled boxes, taxes 1980s, choir robes, and Simply Bird. They begin opening lids. Between each search, the attic triggers memories. Flashback. Knox at 10, shining Viola's trumpet before a church recital, she offering him the mouthpiece to try. His first note cracks, yet she claps like he soared. Flash forward. Knox lifts a church bulletin from 72 banning devil horns and subversive rhythms. He chuckles bitterly. Jade uncovers a scrapbook of news clippings. Viola, Red Bird, Thompson Bard from Jefferson Auditorium, cites unwholesome themes. Another page. Photo of police shoving a saxophonist from stage. Jade's fists tighten. The past feels too present. In a crate marked audio, they find a second reel labeled Bird Seed Demos, and beneath it, a manila envelope stuffed with sheet music scribbled in green ink, each staff annotated with dots and arrows rather than notes. Knox squints. Looks like navigation, not melody. Hours crawl. Noon sun bakes the roof. Sweat beads their temples. They pause only to sip melted ice water from an old thermos Violet kept for picnics. In the far corner, under a tarp, Jade discovers the missing TIAC deck, power cord frayed, belts melted. Of course. Viola moved it up here to force a scavenger hunt. As Jade hauls the deck across warped boards, Knox murmurs, "I didn't hate her, you know." She looks up, surprised. He straightens a bent poster with gentle fingers. "I hated how the world treated her. And I hated feeling powerless to fix it." His eyes meet hers. Still do. The confession settles between them, fragile but genuine. Back downstairs, they rig the attic's TIAC with a fresh belt Knox happens to carry. He restores vintage gear as a side hustle. They thread the Bird Seed reel. At play, a chaotic layering of horns bursts out, then cuts abruptly into Viola laughing. Testing, testing. If you're hearing this, congrats. You found the crumbs. Combine the staves, follow the tonic to the deep south, and mind the sign. Only green light opens the door. Piano chords follow, ascending major sevenths that resolve into silence. Knox scratches his chin. Combine the staves. She means overlay those sheet maps. Jade nods, already piecing puzzle edges in her head. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time, H. They spread the greening pages across the kitchen floor. Lines intersect, forming strange polygons. In the center of one sits a neat, hand-drawn compass rose. But half the rose is jagged, unfinished. Ink stops mid-stroke, as if the page tore away years ago. Knox exhales. Must be the other half. Maybe in the violin case? Jade opens it, empty save for envelopes they've already read. No missing map. Twilight crawls across the ceiling when exhaustion forces a truce. They brew more coffee and retreat to separate corners of the living room. Knox on the couch, Jade in a rocking chair that still smells of Viola's lavender talc. The house sighs with settling beams. Jade drifts into shallow sleep, dreaming of trombones wailing over sirens. A crash jerks her awake, the sound of glass shattering at the back door. She snaps upright. Across the room, Knox already stands, eyes wild. Another crash, cabinet doors slamming open. Footsteps, hurried. Jade's gaze darts to the violin case, still on the table. Knox gestures, stay. But Jade ignores him. She tiptoes to the kitchen archway. A dark figure rummages beneath the lantern's glow, face masked by a black hoodie. The intruder spots the case, throws it into a duffel, then bolts through the broken door into the night. Knox lunges after, but slips on rain-slick linoleum, curses. Jade races to the doorframe, sees taillights peel away, different car than Knox's sedan, a dented pickup roaring off. They search the yard with flashlights, nothing. Police arrive, take statements, promise patrols. When sirens fade, dawn again tinges the horizon. Jade and Knox re-enter the ravaged kitchen. Shards of glass glitter everywhere. Rainwater seeps under the door. The violin case is gone. Knox paces, muttering a storm of expletives. Jade, numb, kneels beside the overturned reel deck. The original tape still sits safe on the counter. She picks up the empty reel box and notices a loose flap she hadn't opened. Inside, wedged in a cardboard seam, lies a 2-inch segment of brass. She eases it out. Half a key, snapped at the bow. Stamped on its blade, CR19. Knox stops pacing. "Sir Chartreuse room," he whispers. Jade flips the box lid inside out. Pencil scratches appear clearer in lamplight. River bends, train tracks, a dotted line ending at a star. Without the other half, the map is a riddle missing verbs. She remembers Viola's letter. Use the key, but don't let the cage close behind you. The thief now holds the violin case and, likely, the key's other half. Jade's grief crystallizes into resolve. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. We can still finish the map, she says. Knox rubs swollen knuckles. Count me in. Jade meets his eyes, trust cautious, but real. No questions. We follow Grandma's trail, then decide together. Knox nods once, the tiniest curve of respect on his lips.
Deal.
Outside, birds begin their pre-dawn chorus, sparrows, thrushes, and one solitary cardinal whose bright song slices the gray. Jade listens, heart aching and hopeful. She retrieves a marker from the junk drawer, writes CR19 across the half map, then circles the star. A journey has begun, measured not in miles but in measures, one unfinished melody guiding them south toward the unknown echo of a secret stage. Morning fog curls over Viola's yard, clinging to the Plymouth like cobweb. The house smells of plywood where the back door glass was hastily boarded. Knox still sleeps on the couch, snoring into the blanket he swore he didn't need. Jade watches him for a long beat. Their fragile peace feels thinner than the cracked window panes. Whoever smashed in last night knew exactly what to steal and exactly what to leave. She can't wait for round 2. Jade tucks the original reel into her backpack, wrapped in a scarf, cushioned by a tangle of charging cords. Then folds the half map and slides it beside the broken key. The attic's bird's seed reel stays hidden in Viola's Bible. If someone comes searching again, let them chase the decoy. She scribbles a note, gone to finish Grandma's song. Trust me, and leaves it on Knox's phone. Outside, dew beads on the car like mercury. She hasn't heard the engine turn over in 15 years. Rust rings the tailpipe, and the front right tire sags. Still, Viola once drove this thing coast to coast with nothing but chewing gum sealing the radiator. Jade slides behind the wheel, heart hammering. Keys rattle into the ignition. She pumps the gas, turns once, nothing. Again, sputter. Third time, a cough, a wheeze, then a guttural roar that vibrates through the seat springs. Exhaust smoke blooms, white in the chill. Jade lets out a laugh, half relief, half disbelief. She backs down the gravel drive just as Knox's silhouette appears in the doorway, arms raised in question. Jade can't risk doubt. She taps the horn twice. Memory of childhood Morse for I love you, then guns it. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. By the time sunlight burns off the fog, she's on Highway 61, the blues route southbound, pine and pecan flashing past. The Plymouth steers heavy, but every mile feels like shedding an old skin. She cracks the window. Early summer air smells of wet earth and honeysuckle. At mile marker 212, a black sedan merges behind her. Sleek, unmarked, same model that idled outside the funeral. Jade's knuckles blanch around the wheel. She accelerates, but the cruiser keeps distance, too polite to be coincidence. Petrol gauge hovers at a quarter when a green-roofed gas station appears. Jade swings in, parks near the air pump, and forces her breath steady. Sedan glides past and keeps rolling, but paranoia gnaws. She fills the tank, adds air, and buys 2 coffees that taste like burnt almonds. A lone saxophone wails across the lot, slow, aching blues. She follows the sound to a lanky man busking under the overhang, case open for tips. He's early 30s, chocolate-brown dreadlocks tied back with a red shoelace, eyes closed as his tenor spills a melody that echoes Viola's phrasing, lyrical yet defiant. When he finishes, she drops a 5. That last run, you quoted Flight of the Green Bird, didn't you? His eyes snap open, equal parts surprise and caution. You know Redbird charts? Grew up on them. She introduces herself. He answers, Theo Greer. The name tugs something in her memory. Viola's scrapbook, Lionel Big T Greer on bass, pictured beside Viola in '66. Your grandfather played with her, Jade blurts. Only family legend. Folks say he cut tracks the label buried. I've heard those tracks. She checks the highway. The sedan is gone for now. I'm chasing the rest, but someone's chasing me. She could stop talking, but something in Theo's steady gaze invites trust. She lifts the backpack's zipper just enough to reveal the reel's flange. He whistles. That's the myth itself. He packs his horn. Where are we headed?
We.
My wheels. He gestures to a battered VW van whose passenger window is plastic wrapped. My tech. Your tape. Deal is you don't ditch me at the first rest stop. Jade hesitates, but Viola always said trust isn't given, it's risked. She nods. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. They caravan, Plymouth leading, van following, until they reach an abandoned way station. Inside, Theo sets up a portable audio interface, laptop plastered with stickers, EFF, Coltrane silhouette, and one green bird mid-flight. He digitizes 20 seconds of Viola's trumpet solo. Watch the spectrum. He runs the file through software he coded for busking gigs. Peaks bloom on screen. Bright, predictable fundamentals, then faint spikes at odd intervals. Ultrasound markers, Theo says. She had data above normal hearing range. He isolates the spikes and converts frequency to MIDI notes, CGA, looping. Overlaid on the half map, the 4 notes align with compass degrees. Connect lines and a crude pelican shape appears, Louisiana's state bird, beak pointing to New Orleans. Heartbeats sync. Jade grips the table edge. Chartreuse room.
Town North?
Urban legend says it closed after a police raid in '68. Some claim the basement held master tapes that could start a revolution. Jade thinks of Viola's voice. If the world's bleeding again. She scrolls news on her phone. Fresh headlines about voter suppression bills, a church bombing, protest clashes. Blood everywhere. Thunder growls outside though the sky is clear. Distant storm brewing south. Jade's phone buzzes with an unknown number. She ignores it. Back on the road, Theo drives the van. Jade pilots the Plymouth. Music from her childhood loops in her head. The recital she bailed on at 16, stepping off stage mid-intro because the house lights blinded her. Viola met her backstage, wrapped her in a hug instead of scorn. You don't owe them perfection, she said. Only truth. When you're ready, the horn will wait. Jade never touched a piano afterward. Now the ghost of a stage waits in New Orleans, and she can't hide behind mechanics. She must play whatever song Viola left. Her stomach knots. At dusk they cross the Mississippi line. Rain begins as pinpricks, then sheets. Windshield wipers squeal protest. Radio interrupts. Tropical depression Delphi upgraded. Flash flood warnings for coastal parishes. Theo crackles over walkie-talkie. We push through or bunker? Push, Jade answers, though her arms ache from gripping the wheel. Lightning forks ahead, illuminating Spanish moss trees bending like dancers. Highway 90 narrows, water pooling on the shoulders. The Plymouth's wipers quit, fuse blown. Visibility shrinks to car length. She leans over the wheel, heart drumming. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Headlights flare in her mirror. The black sedan, windshield diamond slick with rain. It accelerates, bumper kissing hers. Jade's throat dries. She taps brake. Pedal sinks mushy. Brakes fading. Theo's van swerves left to block the sedan, horn blaring Morse SOS. Jade spots a hand-painted sign. Belchas Ferry 1 mile. She fists the gas. The road veers onto a narrow levee. River water laps inches below asphalt, copses of cypress leaning out like spectators. Ferry ramp sits ahead, lights dim beneath pounding rain. The last run of the night begins to retract chains. Hold the ramp. Jade yells to nobody, steering onto the steel deck as the Plymouth fishtails. Tires slam metal, sparks fly. Ferry workers shout, scrambling to latch gates. Theo's van squeals aboard behind her. The sedan barrels onto the ramp, but slick tires lose grip. The car skids sideways, hits the guardrail, and with a metallic wail slides off the edge, plunging into the black water. Taillights vanish like drowned coals. Jade sits frozen, engine idle, rain hammering roof. Adrenaline floods, leaving her trembling. A deckhand pounds on her window. You crazy? Storm will gut this bucket. The ferry shudders as it pulls into current. Theo runs over, soaking. You okay? She nods, breath ragged. Brakes are toast. We'll fix Em and Nola. He rests a hand on her shoulder. Whoever they were, they're gone. She wants to believe him, but the unknown caller worry needles. She powers down the window, lets rain wash her face, tasting river and iron. 1 hour. 2. The ferry grinds upriver as wind screams through cables. Crew huddle in the galley. Theo tunes his sax quietly, notes fluttering like moths. Jade sits in the driver's seat, replaying her life's off-key choices. Viola's trumpet lines echo, beckoning, accusing, forgiving. Phone vibrates. Unknown number again. Hands shaking, she answers. Jade. Knox's calm baritone flows through static and thunder. Don't panic. Her chest constricts. Where are you? In the French Quarter, sipping chicory coffee. I woke to your note and took the early flight. Her stomach flips. Then who? Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Mercs maybe. Label muscle. Doesn't matter. Listen. His voice steadies. I found the chartreuse room. Boarded up on Esplanade. I'm inside the office. Ledgers, posters, even the original stage light gels, chartreuse green. He pauses, emotion coloring his words. You have to see this. Lightning cracks overhead. The ferry deck glows spectral green for a heartbeat, as if the sky itself confirms. How'd you get in? She asks. I know locks. A soft chuff of self-mockery. And I might have bribed a groundskeeper. He exhales. Jade, the place feels holy. Hurry. She wants to trust him. But last night's fracture hasn't mended. I'm budding pay. And the tape. Good. Bring the map too. We'll finish the chart together. Water slaps hull. She swallows fear. We're 2 hours out, storm willing. Knox's voice gentles. Be safe. The city's drowning already. But the music's waiting. Click. Thunder rolls, deeper than before. Jade rests her forehead on the wheel. Theo's reflection appears in the side mirror, horn cradled like a newborn. He gives a thumbs up that reads, "We're still breathing." She exhales, sits upright, and starts cataloging what needs fixing once they make sure. Brake cylinders, wipers, courage. Above them, the hurricane's outer bands spiral, drumming a syncopated rhythm on the ferry roof that feels eerily like brush strokes on a snare, Viola's favorite heartbeat. Jade closes her eyes, lets the sound fill the empty soil of her chest, and whispers to the storm, "I'm ready to play." Rain still lashes the French Quarter when the ferry docks at the riverfront. Jade coaxes the exhausted Plymouth onto Toulouse Street, Theo's van rumbling behind. Floodwater crests the curbs, neon signs reflected in slick black ribbons. Sirens wail somewhere uptown, but the quarter feels deserted, tourists chased indoors by the storm. Knox's last text, Esplanade Avenue/Rampart. Green door, bird stencil. Hurry. Jade shoulders her backpack, tucks the acetate disc she lifted from Viola's attic inside an inner sleeve, then slams the Plymouth door. Theo locks his van and falls in step, sacks case over one shoulder, laptop bag over the other. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. The building Knox described looms ahead, 3-story Creole facade, shutters sagging like half-closed eyelids. A chartreuse-painted door glows faintly under a busted street lamp. Someone sprayed a stylized emerald bird on the wood. Above the lintel, carved letters almost erased by time. Chartreuse Room, EST 1943. Jade's pulse quickens. You're walking through history's back door, she thinks. She tries the knob locked. Theo flicks on a flashlight and studies the jamb. Bar latch.
Simple.
He produces a flat pick and tension wrench, working the mechanism with deft, quiet strokes. 30 seconds later the bolt clicks. He bows theatrically. After you. Inside, air tastes of mildew and stale bourbon. The foyer stretches into darkness, dust motes swirling in the beam of Theo's light. On mismatched stools sit toppled drink menus advertising 10-cent Sazeracs. The main stage lies ahead, once red velvet draped, now shredded to ribbons, floor planks warped by countless floods. Chartreuse gel filters still cling to one overhead spotlight, coloring the gloom a sickly green. Footsteps echo. Knox emerges from behind the bar, trench coat drenched, lantern in hand. His eyes ping-pong between Jade and Theo, then lock on the backpack slung across Jade's chest. Relief softens his features. You made it. His voice cracks. Maybe he's been talking to ghosts. Your grandfather's ledger is in the office. Come see. Jade's guard stays half-raised. Storm water trickles off ceiling beams, tapping cymbal rhythms on the floor. Ledger later, she says. First, Grandma's map. Knox nods, impatience flickering but contained. He leads them toward the backstage corridor. Hallways branch at odd angles, a drunken warren of supply closets and changing rooms. At a half-rotted door he stops. I found this an hour ago. He swings it open. The stench of wet earth rises. A ladder descends into pitch darkness. Theo shines his light, brick walls slick with condensation, steps rusted but intact. He hands Jade the flashlight. Ladies first. She mutters, your chivalry showing, but climbs anyway, Theo and Knox following. The tunnel below is narrow, brick-arched, floor damp. Graffiti scrawls, free the songs and bird lives. After 30 yards they reach a steel, hatch chained shut. On its face, etched in tarnished brass, sits a music staff with 4 empty note heads. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Knox gestures. Needs a code. Jade digs in her pack, retrieves the folded half map, spreads it against the hatch. Pencil pelican, note letters CJ. For tones, for locks. She hums them softly. The metal reverberates, but nothing moves. Theo sets down his sax case, assembles the tenor. Let's ring the bell right. He inhales, then blows the 4 notes, low, resonant. Vibrations crawl through the hatch, the chain shutters, links rattling like teeth. A loud clunk. The lock drops to the floor. Taugvin. Music theory beats bolt cutters. Inside lies a chamber wide as a basketball court, lit only by their lamps. Walls gleam with lacquered instruments hung like trophies, trumpets, saxophones, hollow-body guitars. Wooden crates line the center, each stamped with a green bird. A dehumidifier unit long dead exudes a moldy electricity smell. Jade's heart stutters. She lifts the lid of a nearest crate. Inside, vinyl masters preserved in rice paper sleeves. She reads a label, red BIRD and the Mercy chords, Live at What's Protest 1965, unissued. Theo gasps as if the air's been knocked from him. Knox steps to another crate. Fannie Lou Hamer Tribute Session, 1966, eyes shining. On a low podium rests a leather-bound diary, black with silver edges. Jade touches it, recognizes Viola's looping script. She opens the first page. If these walls still stand, the songs survived the silencers. But songs alone can't heal. They need brave mouths to sing them. To whoever finds this, decide carefully. Truth sold is truth diluted. Jade swallows. Viola wrote those words knowing greed might one day walk in. She glances at Knox. His gaze lingers on the crates. Imagine, he whispers. Full catalog, never heard. Labels would kill. Exactly, Jade snaps. They already tried. Knox's jaw tightens. Streaming pennies won't keep these discs from rotting. Sell them properly, fund restoration museums scholarships. They belong to everyone. Jade's voice cracks with urgency. Upload high-res files, release liner notes, give activists something to rally behind. Theo steps between them, sacks hanging at his hip. We gotta choose fast. Storms pushing 6 feet of water into the quarter by morning. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Knox rubs temples. I have the buyer en route. Security team, restoration trucks. Security team? Jade repeats, dread prickling. At that instant, footsteps echo in the tunnel. Flashlights slice the dark. Voices sweep left. Target is female, mid-20s, tape in hand. Jade's blood ices. She glares at Knox. You called them? His expression contorts. Regret? Fear? It was before the ferry. I thought they'd protect us, not. Mercs pour in, 3 men in rain gear, pistols holstered, batons out. One, a shaved head brute, barks. Tape first, ladies and gents. Jade shoves the diary into her backpack and bolts behind a crate. Theo raises his sacks like a club. Knox steps forward, hands up. Listen, we negotiate. Shaved head backhands him. Knox crumples. Jade's fury ignites. She pulls the original reel from her bag, heart-shattering, and hurls it onto the concrete. It cracks, tape spooling like guts. She grabs a broken shard of housing, strikes flint and steel from Theo's music stand bag. Tiny spark, ribbon ignites. Flames lick magnetic film, acrid smoke curling. No tape, no sale, she shouts. Mercs curse, one lunges. Theo swings his axe, denting the guard's forearm. Jade darts past crates, diary clutched, acetate disc safe inside jacket. Shaved head kicks burning reel aside, advances. Knox staggers to his feet, eyes wide at the blaze creeping toward stacked masters. Sprinklers, he rasps to Theo. Ancient system. Valve room by the stairs. Theo sprints, finds a rusty wheel, twists. Nothing. He kicks it, iron groans. A second kick. Pipes rattle. Sprinkler heads cough out dust, then gush cold water. Steam erupts over burning tape. Droplets ping vinyl covers, warping them. Mercs slip on wet floor, cursing. Jade seizes Knox's wrist. Move. They race back through the hatch. Behind, sprinkler deluge hammers the crates, warping cardboard, dissolving ink. Jade's chest seizes with grief, but there's no time. Tunnel lights strobe, security generators flooding circuits. Nearing ladder, Knox yanks free. We can still save some, he pleads. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Later. She shoves him upward. Theo appears, sacks clattering as he climbs. Upstairs, club floor is flooding, storm surge seeping through board gaps. Wind howls down esplanade, yanking shutters free. They sprint toward the front. Mechs emerge from backstage, water-soaked and furious. Jade spots a trapdoor behind the bar, a dumbwaiter shaft once used to ferry booze. Down, she yells, yanking the hatch. Theo dives first, sack slung. Knox hesitates, flash of guilt in his eyes, then follows. Jade slams trapdoor, throws a keg on top. They slide through dust-slick chute onto mud-wet alley pavement. Sirens wail closer, rain blinds. Theo helps Nox up. Jade checks alley mouth cleared. Flames don't show, but smoke streams from roof vents. Old wiring kissed by sprinklers shorting live circuits. Nox coughs, rain washing blood from his lip. "I'm sorry," he sputters. "Thought I could square both sides." Jade shoulders her pack. Tears mix with rain. Square never means equal when money's on one plate. Theo snaps open his laptop under an awning, waterproof keyboard glowing. This acetate, let's rip it now, push to every free domain before the label buries us. Power's out, cell towers strained. But Theo routes tether through a ham radio modem he built from spare parts. Jade fishes the disk, hands trembling. Label reads rise, red BIRD, alt take. Nox touches Jade's arm. "Let me help." He opens his phone's hotspot, adds battery packs. For once, greed absent. Only determination. They digitize the track in real time, needle feed wired to Theo's interface. The raw, crackling horns pour into headphones, a battle cry echoing through 3 hearts. Outside, lightning illuminates a plume of smoke swirling above the chartreuse room. Upload bar crawls, 20%, 60, 95. Jade holds her breath. Final byte sends. Theo routes mirrors to activist servers, dark web archives, public torrents. Their makeshift station pings success. Sirens converge. Fire crews swarm the street. A cop yells evacuation orders. Smoke billows from club windows, legacy cracking, melting, washing away. Jade steps into the deluge, eyes fixed on the building as flames lick green-tinted glass. Her grief is a raw chord unresolved, but the song is in the cloud now, unburnable. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Nox stands beside her, shoulders sagging. "I ruined half of it," he whispers. "You saved the part that matters." Jade slips Viola's diary into his hands. Finish reading her words. Then decide who you want to be. Theo beckons from the van, engine idling. Jade heads for the passenger seat but pauses, looking back once more. Fire glows behind chartreuse windows. Rain hisses, turning embers to steam. The city breathes in smoke and thunder, then exhales a new anthem. Viola's horn cascading from open apartment windows as listeners hit play around the globe. Jade slides into the van, soaked and shivering. Theo drives toward higher ground. Sirens fade, replaced by radios echoing a melody lost for 60 years. She closes her eyes, exhausted, terrified, but fiercely alive. The vault may be ashes, yet the music flies free, seed scattered on storm winds, ready to root in any heart brave enough to listen. The storm breaks just before dawn. Jade wakes on Theo's sofa, curtains billowing in the salt-sweet air of a city wrung out but still humming. Her clothes smell of smoke and river water. Her muscles ache like she walked every mile of the blues route twice. Yet a low, humming exhilaration vibrates behind her ribs, the same current she felt when the acetate finished uploading. She pads to the kitchenette. Theo hunches over his laptop, backlit by code scrolling like falling sheet music. He swivels, eyes bloodshot but shining. Mirrors are holding. 300 seaters already. Reddit is losing its mind. Jade pours 2 mugs of chicory coffee. Any word from Nox? Voicemail at 4 a.m. said the fire marshal let him grab a few salvageable boxes. He's heading back to Mississippi, things to fix, whatever that means. Jade nods, relief tempered by worry. She sets the diary on the table. The cover warped but pages intact. Viola's voice waits, ready to guide the next verse. But first, the broken acetate. Theo cleared a workspace last night. Anti-static mat, soft brushes, ultraviolet lamp. The acetate's rim shows a hairline crack from their frantic transfer. Jade's hands tremble as she applies archival resin with a microsyringe, sealing the wound 1 millimeter at a time. She remembers Viola sewing buttons on her coats, tiny stitches that held like iron. Patience is tempo, Grandma always said. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Resin cures under the lamp. Jade breathes only when a perfect seam glints back. Theo digitizes 2 backup copies, storing them in encrypted drives. She writes file hashes on sticky notes, stashes one in her shoe, another behind a wall vent. Paranoia is a melody she now keeps in her set list. At midnight, they schedule the definitive upload. Rise, Red Bird, final restoration. Jade presses the return key. Somewhere, servers ping awake, routers flash. A trumpet note, once smothered, starts its second life flight. She stands at the open window, listening to a city's quiet inhale. Traffic lights flick emerald down empty streets. She hums the opening phrase of Rise, soft enough for only the dawn to hear. Morning news breaks like a cymbal crash. Lost civil rights anthem surfaces online. Blogs dissect Viola's history. Scholars request interviews. Hashtag Redbird rises trends within 6 hours. Streaming platforms, forced into whiplash, scramble to legitimize mirror links. TikTok teens sample the horn break. Protest organizers splice the chorus into megaphone chants. Someone remixes the song with police scanner static. Footage of last night's flood becomes a music video. By noon, thousands gather in Lafayette Square. A brass band blares the melody while volunteers hand out bottled water and voter registration forms. Helicopters hover. Anchors call Viola the prophet of persistence. Jade tracks it all from Theo's couch, phone buzzing like a hive. At first, the attention terrifies her. Every ping a reminder of that stage fright 16-year-old. But then she sees a live stream. A little girl in Chicago plays the trumpet break on a bright red plastic horn, fearless. Jade's throat tightens. The song no longer belongs to fear. Late afternoon, a Plymouth horn toots outside Theo's shotgun apartment. Knox stands on the sidewalk, jeans and t-shirt, hair uncombed for perhaps the first time in memory. In his hands, a banker's box marked CR Salvage. Inside, he unpacks 3 warped vinyls, 2 scorched trumpets, 1 charred neon bar sign reading ROOM, and a folder of legal documents. I sold the condo, he blurts, as though ripping off a bandage. Half the buyer's deposit cleared this morning. I already wired a grant to the Preservation Hall Foundation. He meets Jade's eyes. They're rebuilding the chartreuse room. Community workshops, free performances, recording studio for local kids. Theo whistles low. That's one hell of an encore. Knox shrugs, embarrassed. Public comment sections were persuasive. Turns out nobody cheers for the guy who tried to privatize hope. He sets a slim check on the table. Viola's will left me the house, but it needs foundations. Sell it, keep it, I don't care. Just help finish what she started. Jade folds the check into the diary. Let's call it seed money. Grandma loved planting seeds. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Knox laughs, soft, relieved. She'd scold my cord changes till the day I die, but maybe she'd nod at this. News outlets beg Jade for exclusive interviews. She declines most, but says yes to Mayor Guillory's invitation. Perform, Rise, Redbird, live at Saturday's Unity Festival in the town square. Same brick plaza where Viola once buskied for nickels during segregation. The symbolism is too potent to refuse, but dread coils around Jade's lungs. Theo senses it. Fear's just adrenaline without sheet music, he tells her, polishing the dent in his sax. Let's script it. They rehearse in the Plymouth's garage bay, amps stacked on cinder blocks, extension cords snaking through a cracked window. Jade sits at an upright piano salvaged from a thrift store, keys yellowed like old teeth. First runs are shaky. Her left hand trembles on the minor 9th chord. She stops, shoulders slumped. Theo closes the lid gently. Play it messy. Play it wrong. Just play it honest. She tries again, eyes closed. This time she doesn't chase perfection. She chases heartbeat. Viola's melody pours through her, broken, mended, alive. When she finishes, silence hangs vibrant. Knox claps from the doorway, eyes glassy. Jade laughs, half sobbing. Fear isn't gone, but it's smaller than the music now. The sun feels freshly minted. Banners of green and ruby drape lampposts. Food trucks perfume the air with jambalaya and sweet beignet. Police lines guard the perimeter, but officers nod along to the brass warm UPS. A stage rises where once a whites-only gazebo stood. Speakers throb with sound checks. Backstage, Jade grips the microphone stand, palms slick. Theo tunes beside her. Knox double-checks live stream connections. The mayor introduces them, recounting Viola's bravery. Crowd applause swells like surf. Jade steps into light. The square blurs, faces, cameras, flags, but one image sharpens, a memory of Viola in that ruby spotlight, eyes fierce. Jade inhales. Piano chords bloom. Theo's sax answers, sweet and urgent. On the downbeat, a 20-piece brass ensemble, local high schoolers wearing Greenbird pins joins. The air vibrates. Jade sings the refrain. Lyrics she found scribbled in Viola's diary margins. Rise, rise, red bird. Cut the cage of lies, bird. When the sky forgets its song. Your feathers write what's right, sing on. Don't forget to like and drop a comment. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Her voice cracks on the last line, raw, beautiful. The crowd cheers, some chanting the hook, others weeping. Camera cranes sweep overhead. Global feeds beam the moment. For Jade, the square contracts to heartbeats. Her own, Theo's foot tapping, children clapping off time but true. Fear dissolves in cymbal crash and trumpet scream. Final chord rings. Silence, then an ovation that feels like wind lifting wings. Jade bows, tears streaking mascara. She can almost hear Viola laughing, high clear, somewhere beyond the monitors. Days blur into planning meetings. Architects sketch blue-scale renderings for the new Chartreuse Community Arts Hub, recording booths, rooftop garden, daylight rehearsal rooms. Knox negotiates permits like a penitent knight. Theo forms a non-profit, Greenbird initiative, crowdfunding instrument drives, coding workshops, and free jazz theory classes. Jade files paperwork to transfer Viola's house deed to the initiative. Volunteers tear up rotten boards, plant citrus trees, and paint murals of trumpets sprouting vines. Each evening, Jade reads a diary entry aloud to the crew. Stories of border crossings, hospital bribes, lullabies smuggled across picket lines. Workers grow quiet, hammers paused, tears shining in sawdust light. Streaming royalties begin trickling in. Jade signs them over to legal funds for protesters arrested at police reform marches. She keeps only enough to refuel the Plymouth and buy archival sleeves for the salvage discs. A life measured in chords, not accounts. Spring again. Yellow jasmine blooms around the Chartreuse Hub's restored marquee. Tonight is the grand reopening. Lanterns strung across the courtyard, teenagers rehearsing scales in every corner. Knox, sporting paint-splattered jeans, adjusts a sign that reads all ages, all voices. Jade rolls down Esplanade in the Plymouth, now tuned, painted its original sea green shine. She parks at the curb, engine ticking warm. The building's facade glows chartreuse under newly restored spotlights. Laughter filters through open doors. Trombone slides echo up stairwells. She walks to the trunk. The old latch opens easy, oil, and patience. Inside rests a brand new violin, midnight black wood, strings shimmering silver. A note lies on crushed velvet lining. The next verse is yours.
Grandmother.
Jade traces the handwriting, tears smudging ink. She lifts the violin. It feels lighter than air, yet anchored by memory. She tucks it beneath her chin, draws the bow. A pure, tremulous G vibrates through dusk, seed-seeking soil. Knox calls from the doorway, waving. Theo stands beside him, sax slung, green bird pin glinting. Kids gather, eyes wide. Jade smiles, lowers the violin, and walks toward them. On the sidewalk, a tourist snaps a photo of the Plymouth, captioning it for a blog he'll title When History Took the Wheel. He doesn't hear Jade's whisper carried on evening breeze. Grandma left me an old rickety car, but the trunk opened a future loud enough to change the world. Hey besties, thanks so much for sticking around till the end. If you felt something, learned something, or just enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button. See you next time, bye.